On today's episode, we are going to be doing part 2 of our many-part series where we are furnishing an entire home with free or thrifted items. In this video, we're going to be doing 3 furniture flips, and we're going to be taking 2 truckloads full of furniture over to my sister-in-law's house. If you didn't get to see part 1, I will have that link down below in the description box. But what we are doing is we are furnishing my sister-in-law's house for her as a gift because we love her and we want her new house to be awesome. And I absolutely love decorating, and I am so thankful that she is letting us decorate her house because this is my dream job to do. We are doing this free of charge and as cheap as possible, and I think that it's turning out really great so far, and you're really going to want to see this episode because we get a lot done today. Let's get started. So at the end of part 1, we left you with a cliffhanger ending to be continued, and this is where we started back up for part 2, which was on the dining set. So I left you off with us getting this dining set out of the garage, and now my husband is starting to work on it. He's putting the legs back on, and he's going to give it a quick clean, and then he's going to tape off the edges of the top of the table and spray paint it with some enamel spray paint. We always use enamel spray paint when we're doing items of furniture that are going to get tons of wear and tear because that paint is extremely durable and you don't really have to do much prep at all other than cleaning the surface. We use the Rust-Oleum brand, and they even make one that has a 15-minute dry time now, which is great because before you would have to wait 30 minutes between coats and then it would take hours and hours to dry after that. But now they make one that dries even faster, and it's great stuff. So you should definitely try it out, but I do have to recommend wearing a respirator when you're using this stuff because it's really, really stinky and it's terrible for you to be breathing. And that is actually why my husband is doing it instead of me, because I have actually become allergic to this. I have like chemical sensitivity or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. But whenever I smell this or am near it, I get flu-like symptoms, like I get all stuffed up, my throat hurts, I feel really tired, my lymph nodes swell up. It's just I have a horrible reaction to this stuff. So make sure you're wearing your proper PPE when you are using this product, and try not to breathe it in at all. But when you're wearing the proper protective equipment, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. Even, in fact, I can do this if I wear a paint suit and the respirator, and I don't have problems. And it's worth it because this stuff is extremely durable, and we can get all the tables and chairs and everything done in one day when we use this product. So it is worth it in the end to use it. Just make sure you're protecting yourself. The next part is doing the top of the table. So I'm going to sand the edges where there was some bumps and bruises on here, and then I'm also going to sand any spots that have like scuff marks in a different color other than wood. So like there was some white scuffs and some green colored scuff marks on here, and I'm making sure to sand in the direction of the wood grain because what I'm going to do is actually use a gel stain over top of the current color. My sister-in-law wanted her decor to be mostly black with pops of red, and we found a free dining hutch you probably saw in episode 1 or part 1, and I'm trying to match the top of this table with that same cherry wood color that the dining hutch has. So I'm going to go over it with a stain that I had that's a gel stain, and the color that I have is called brown mahogany. And I'm just going to rub it on using this sponge right here and then wipe it in the direction of the wood grain and let it dry. You have to seal this in order to get a nice protective finish over it. So I am going to seal it once it is done, but all you need to do is wipe it on in the direction of the wood grain and wipe off the excess. This is the easiest way to stain wood without having to do any sanding. In fact, the sanding that I did was just to get rid of the scuff marks. If you're staining over top of a piece that's already in good condition, you can just go straight into staining with this product. And I'll be sure to link all the products I used today in my description box in my Amazon store. For the polyurethane that I'm going to use today, I'm actually going to use an oil-based poly that has a stain and a poly put together, and that's going to help to deepen this color a little bit. Plus, it's what I had on hand, and today's video and this whole series is about using what you have, being creative, not spending money, and keeping your budget super tight. So I made it work with what I have by using this polyurethane, and it looks absolutely stunning on here. It had a very shiny glass-like finish once it was dry, and I just wiped it on using that same sponge, although I would not recommend using this sponge because it ended up not being lint free like it said it was, so it left some little bits of fuzz into the finish, which drove me nuts. But this bench right here is actually a bench that she already had with her previous dining set, and it's seen better days. It was really wobbly and loose, so my husband's gonna tighten it up and take that top off, and then I'm going to be recovering it while he is repainting this to match the dining set that we're creating with that table and that big hutch that's from my last video, and then you'll see the chairs for that dining set coming up soon in the video. So while Manny was outside painting that frame for this bench, I was inside recovering the seat. I'm using this faux black leather because it's easy to clean and it was really affordable. It was only $5.99 per yard, and I only got 3 yards for this, and it covered the bench, 6 chairs, and I still had some left over. So I feel like 2.5 yards probably could have done it, and I spent less than $20 to recover 6 chairs and a bench, which you cannot beat that price. Right now, Hobby Lobby has their fabric half off. At least they did when I bought it a couple days ago. But that's the best time to buy upholstery fabric, and they have really great upholstery fabric there as well. A lot of these like fake leather style fabrics to choose from if you like to have an easy to clean chair. And this is the best stuff to cover your dining chairs with to have a really quick new look. You can do it in black or brown. They even have white and tan and like different textures. They have really great stuff. And then they also have stuff that's not leather, which looks great too. I have tons of their upholstery fabric just sitting and waiting for me to find the right project for it. I always end up buying fabric way before I even have a thing to put it on, just because a lot of times fabrics can be discontinued. So when I see something I love, I just grab it. And this black leather is a staple that they always have. It's always there, so you don't really have to rush and grab it. But wait until it's on sale, of course. You could actually, I mean, it's only $9.99 full price per yard, which is great for this upholstery fabric, and it's really thick and durable. So I mean, even full price, it's a good deal, but why not wait and get it on sale? I mean, come on, we're all trying to save a buck here. Times are crazy. We need to save as much as we can when we can. But now it's all finished, and Manny's putting the feet back on, or the legs back on, and then it will be ready to go. I'm not going to show you the after until we're actually bringing it into the house at the end of the video. So stay tuned to the end of the video to see how all these flips really look put together. Next, we moved on to the dining chairs, and they just needed to be cleaned, and I disinfected the seats before covering them, although I did not film that part. We were in such a rush, guys. It is really hard to do this many projects and get out 2 videos a week, just because you have to spend a whole day editing pretty much, and then we also are getting ready for our school year to start. We do our kids' school at home. Like, it was a super busy 2 weeks for us these past 2 weeks, trying to get her house cleaned and furnished and get these videos filmed and everything. So we were moving as fast as we possibly could in doing these projects, and that's another reason why we chose this paint, because it's so easy and so quick to use. You can get this paint at any hardware store. We got ours at Lowe's, just because there's a Lowe's closer to us than a Home Depot. But you could get it at Home Depot. Walmart probably even has it. Ace Hardware probably has it. Or if you are in a different country, literally whatever hardware store you have should have some spray enamel paints. But he did one coat of it upside down. He's learning the ways, my ways of painting furniture, which is starting upside down and then flipping it right side up. When you do that, you don't even have to wait between the coats. You can start upside down and then you carefully flip it right side up and immediately keep painting and get full coverage this way. And it also helps to prevent you from getting drips. You just have to be very careful not to overcoat areas that you've already hit. That is how you get drips. And if it is humid where you live, I would take it back a little bit, like step back a little further when you're painting, because it will be way more inclined to drip when you have humidity. So take it light and step back just a little bit if you live somewhere with humidity. And again, while that was drying outside, I was inside covering all of these seats. I am not going to be taking off the old fabric. It was actually in pretty good condition. There were really no stains on it or anything. So I just sprayed it down with some disinfectant, and then I'm covering right over it with the fabric. And if you don't like doing that and you want to recover seats by taking everything off first and then recovering it, that's cool too. But we just didn't have the time or the budget to put new padding or any of that stuff on here, because we are trying to do this free or super cheap. And there is nothing wrong with going right over the old fabric as long as you make sure that it is clean. Look at how good that looks. I'm so excited to see all this put together. Oh, I bet you guys have just been dying to see that dining room, because I left it on such a cliffhanger last time. But now he's reattaching the seats onto the chairs, and they look so chic and modern now. We let those dry for a while before loading those up, but we had all of this stuff in here ready to go, and we got all of this furniture for free. Literally free. We spent $0 on all of this great furniture, and we brought it over and we're putting it in her oldest daughter's bedroom. I'm not going to show too much of her bedroom just because there was tons of boxes everywhere and things like that, but I am going to show you how we put in her furniture, where it's going to go, and what furniture we got, because you don't even really know yet what pieces we got for free. And I am so incredibly thankful for the people who donated for this cause in our area. And I think that if you are in a situation where you need something, there's probably somebody out there who can help you by giving you something for free. And there's so much stuff in this world, and I always say this, I feel like we have enough stuff in the world to just continue reusing that we would never need to make anything new again. As far as furniture and home decor goes, like, there is so much stuff out there that people accumulate, and I'm guilty of that too, but we really don't even need to manufacture new things. We can just keep taking care of the older things, or find things on the side of the road or whatever. Like, you really wouldn't need to buy anything new. There's so much stuff out there that people are just giving away, or they don't want anymore, or they're selling at their yard sale. So you can get really great stuff simply by asking. And we put out a post saying, hey, does anybody have this, this, and this? We're trying to help somebody furnish their home, and we got all of this stuff for free. We just had to go pick it up. It's amazing. People want to be helpful. People want to give and help each other, and you can be a part of that too. Even if you don't need anything, you can be the person who's helping to give something. So if you have something that you don't really use anymore, consider getting on Facebook and offering it up for free before taking it to the thrift store. I love that we get to just directly give things to people who need it. And those people who need it probably can't afford buying it at the thrift store either. And so this is a great way to cut out the middleman. And I know a lot of people aren't really interested in donating to Goodwill these days. Oh, by the way, I got all of these curtain rods for $10 a piece. They're really good, and they're from Walmart, and they're very large and substantial, and they look way more high-end than what I spent. So yeah, that was amazing. But Manny's hanging those up. The curtains they already had, and I got a boatload of curtains donated to us, and I'll show you some of those really soon. But here's all her furniture that we brought to her today. She's going to take some time to like unpack and put her things away, so I'll get an after video of that room in the next video, or maybe the one after that. But these curtains right here were blackout curtains. They were donated for free. I just had to wash them and hang them. They ended up being a little bit too long, so when I do the living room makeover, I will fix that. But these are in the living room. And do you remember that I thrifted this cute little print that had the tomatoes on it? It was like a cute little art print that had like a wine glass and tomatoes. It was from part 1. But this is what we ended up doing with it. So Manny's taking it apart, and he's going to end up painting the frame the same color black as the dining set is. And that way it all looks cohesive. Whenever you are taking a bunch of random stuff that you got for free and trying to make it look like it goes together, one way to do that is to use the same paint color on everything. Then it looks like you bought the set, and really you spent nothing. Like, this came from the thrift store. It was super cheap. I think it was like $4.99. And these curtains, guys, these curtains were the ones I showed you in part 1 that had all those pink stains all over them. Well, the stains came out and they look beautiful, and it matches exactly her style. It's like a little bit modern and a little bit traditional, and it has the red, and then the curtain rod has the black because she's wanting red and black, and they turned out so beautiful. It even had 2 matching like pillows, little cushions that came with it that they donated, and they look so cute. I'll show you those later. But I also found these plates and chargers at Goodwill and the Goodwill bins. The chargers were from the bins, and the little plates were from Goodwill. And then remember, I thrifted this in part 1. I think it was like $1.99. Goes with the red and black. And these chargers were from the Goodwill bins, so I bet I spent about $1 on them. So altogether, in these 2 shelves of the hutch that I'm decorating, I think I only spent about $6 to do this. So I have the white chargers. I'm going to put those in the back, and then I'm going to take those green plates because, you know, red and green are complementary colors. They go really well together. Plus, I found out that my sister-in-law really likes dark green. So, hello, perfect. But they look so good together in this hutch. I am going to need to go thrift shopping to get some more stuff to decorate in this hutch, because this was all I could find in the time that I have had in just the past few days to decorate in her hutch. But she also had these cute little like teacups and saucers that go really well with what I had put on here. And so I ended up putting these in front of the plates to help hold them up and make them a little stronger, and so they don't slip and slide. And also, I just think they look really good. It ties in some of that red in there, and I like how that like yellowish and like Tuscan color looks with everything. I think it's really all coming together really well. Like, right across from that hutch is these curtains. I think it's all just, it's ending up coming together like fate. Like, I got all these things donated to me, and nobody even knew that I has been planning to decorate with red and black. It just turned out that way, like perfect. Little God wink there. Oh, Piper says hi. Piper! But anyway, we're bringing in the dining set now, and here is where things go a little sideways. So we had to play around with this dining set to figure out how to get enough chairs around it. I hadn't actually put the chairs and the table together before. I got them as a set, so I just figured all the chairs fit around the table. But really only 4 fit around the table. So I ended up having to just leave these 4 on here at first, and later on I'll tell you a little bit about what I decided to do. I put the extra chairs here on either side of the hutch, and then of course I decorated the table with those cute little red circle table placemats. I can't think right now. And then those are those pillows I was telling you about that match the curtains. But here is how it's starting to look in here. I'm sorry for the glare, but I just love that pattern on the glass doors that it has. It's so unique. And then the bench I thought would go really good here. In fact, Manny was the one who was like, we should put the bench under the window. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. But if she has an issue later on where because she has a family of 6. So if there's an issue later on where they need to all sit at the table, she has another set of chairs that are a little bit smaller. So she could use smaller chairs on here plus the bench. and that way she can seat more people that way when she has people over. But I was really bummed that this table ended up being smaller than what I thought it was. Just actually, it was more like the chairs were so wide that they didn't end up fitting the way I thought that they would. But this bench turned out absolutely beautiful. Love it. Looks brand new. The chairs look so stunning. I think it actually turned out really well. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. But thank you so much for coming today. This is to be continued yet again, and next time we're actually going to be working on her living room, and I'm going to be doing a really good trash to treasure furniture flip in that one. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see the next one. See you next time. Bye.